Hello, guys. A very warm welcome to all of you to my podcast 15.0. This is Aadit Kapadia coming to you from Houston. Together with me are Sunanda Vashisht and Pramod Kumar Buravalli. How are you guys doing?
Good, Aadit. How are
Good.
you?
Pretty good. Kind of somber, in a somber mood. Horrified by what happened in Nepal.
Yeah.
First of all, we would like to offer our condolences from Mind Makers and from Aadit, Sunanda, and Pramod to all the victims who suffered in Nepal and North India and Bangladesh. It's horrifying. I mean, about 4,000 people have been in what was a devastating earthquake. 7.9
And the number is
Richters.
going up every hour. I hear the toll numbers going up. It's really sad. It's horrifying. The images that you see on the TV and everything, it is horrifying.
You've suffered a personal loss in your friend.
Yes, our
the-
family friend, a mountaineer, Renu Fotedar, she passed away. She was a mountaineer, and it's
Our
hard.
condolences, Sunanda. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
know
hard
this
to
was
talk
meant
about
that.
in past tense, but
And I told you, this brings back memories for me of the 2001 Gujarat earthquake, which was very devastating. I mean, I've seen in Ahmedabad, disasters. I mean, buildings collapsing and towns in Bhuj and all colonies collapsing and stuff. I mean, buildings reduced to rubble. And more than anything, I think for the people to get past this, if you're living on a 16th floor of a building or a 20th floor and you've been through an earthquake, the trauma that you experience going back there, and especially if you've lost a loved one, is, I mean, I can't even explain.
the
what they must be
eyewitnesses
going
have
through.
recounted what they have seen. 1 minute everything was fine, and the
Right.
very next minute everything came down in a rubble. I mean,
And-
and we don't know how many people must be trapped right now as we speak.
Absolutely.
These sort of earthquakes are very difficult to predict, although experts in the past have said a huge earthquake of such a magnitude or even larger was expected, considering all the construction, all the kind of ecological changes that Nepal has witnessed due to urbanization, due to a lot of activities in the
Construction,
mountains. There is so much change happening these days that cannot be, called attuned to nature. But this was this was heart-rending, considering that the Himalayan region, which is it's essentially very
Prone
central
to
to
this thing.
central to Indic faith, and the kind of
Civilization.
reverence you have to that region has been prone historically to such a uncertain activity, seismic activity, and it's just it can't be
No, I
predicted
mean,
so easily.
you
Also,
saw the Darbar Square being almost reduced to rubble in Kathmandu. Lots of
Yeah.
temples being affected and stuff miraculously, and thankfully the Pashupatinath
Pashupatinath temple has is standing tall
standing
and
tall.
proud.
But
Thank God for that.
that's what people were saying, that their civilizational history, they were a part of their, they grew up looking at those temples and stuff, and then just one fine day, I think a tourist even clicked pictures of Darbar Square a little
Before and after, yeah, a Western tourist
The
did
Western
that. I
tourist
saw
said-
that, yeah.
and it was, I mean, that was pretty much the most heartbreaking,
Yeah.
that in 1 hour pretty much the whole country's narrative changed.
And the fact is, at this moment, we do not know the extent of damage. No one knows the extent of damage. We do not know what has been. We probably only know about Kathmandu Valley. We do not know about the rural areas. We do not
Bharatpur,
about all those areas. There are places where rescue teams have not even reached. So
Lack
all
of
we
power.
know.
And the damage has also been very severe to parts of Bihar as well. 66 people, I think, have passed away
Passed
in
away
Bihar.
there, yeah.
So it's,
and the kind of quick response that the Indian government under Narendra Modi kind of embarked almost at the
Within hours.
within an hour, and then
Yeah.
the first
Within an
aircraft took off from India towards Nepal. As soon as he made the statement, it is just a testimony to the sense of urgency with which the government responded, with or without calls for help coming in from the other side. It
which
was
is
more
what-
of a
which is what
And
it should have
although,
happened.
yeah, and
You know,
although Nepal, the relationship with Nepal, for some reason, had deteriorated in the past for no reason. We share a huge civilizational history with them. It seems unreal that we should not have a great relationship with Nepal. People on both countries feel so
that,
much.
that is the debate for a later time.
No, what I was going to say was that despite that, this is the time for us to stand up
And
with them.
I'm glad, the Indian government stood up. The Indian military has been doing good work, and I mean, we are proud of the government and the military for doing. But also our hearts lie with the Nepalis and the people of Bihar, northern part of India. Everyone who's been affected. We just hope that India can help Nepal as much as it can, and time is going to be the only healer.
And a lot of civil organizations, social organizations like SGPC, RSS, had Baba Ramdev's foundation. He narrowly escaped
himself,
and a lot of them plunged into the humanitarian aspect of an after effect. They're still experiencing tremors. It's still uncertain as to when the rehabilitation effort will start.
And everyone who can help must pitch in. Everyone who can do in whatever way you can do. We would request everyone to pitch in. And there are organizations that
there are ways you can donate money. I think to the PM has set up a relief fund and so forth. So it's been a kind of a somber weekend for all of us. We'll be talking about what happened, the news that happened this week and so forth, but we'll do it with a touch of sorrow, and
our hearts go out to everyone who is suffering right now there. It is a sad week.
As they say, may Lord Pashupatinath give them the strength to get through this ordeal.
And it just makes you feel so little in front of nature's fury, and you just don't know.
So anyways, that was our bit on the Nepal earthquake. The next parts we are going to be talking about a variety of issues and news that have dominated this week. We'll try to give our perspective on that.
And the wanted and unwanted NGOs that show their head now and later.
Yes. So interesting developments coming in from all over India, right? People are talking about NGOs. Whether is the government of India monitoring NGOs? Are they restricting NGOs, or they are just monitoring the finances of NGOs?
My take on the NGO industry, as we call it, is that there are NGOs that are extension of business houses that want to extend their influence in an area they set up business in. Let's say, for example, a steel plant, if it sets up in an area, and their natural business school teaching tells them that wherever you take, whichever area you take from, you also give back. Any Harvard school, Indian School of Business, they have all this ingrained philosophy of if you take more, at least give back something. That is general capitalism. Now, in socialism, it is you take, you give, and then you go and look at Karl Marx and see how much percentage he took and he gave, and then match it up to that percentage. In the mixed economy that we all grew up on, which is basically to have a conscious way of giving, irrespective of how much you're taking, the NGO industry the past 25 years is a natural side effect of liberalization. You get money, you get these companies to fund a particular industry or a sector. You have them setting up foundations of their own, or they pool together and form a kind of a market of NGOs.
So far so good.
For development, and there's
the
several different.
The problem comes after this.
The problem comes when they seek to exert disproportionate influence on the government and policy making, and they think that their business from that source is safe because now they have embedded themselves into the society. They've got demographics that are siding with them. They want to basically have a control. This is all about control.
My problem is when NGOs start acting and behaving like lobbyists without disclosing themselves as lobbyists. That is my problem with NGOs. I wouldn't mind a lot of them coming and espousing a political cause if they have to, but then they're not NGOs at that point. It's
not even a political cause, Sunanda. Some of them are just, they'll say that, oh, we are against corporates, against this, XYZ, and they will stop industrialization in an area. Right, so that is not a political cause, but they are doing that to get political relevance.
What Manmohan Singh found out, this is an unusual example of me quoting him, is during his time, his tenure, when Pranab Mukherjee was the finance minister, this whole episode of the Kudakulam nuclear
Thing
agitation was going on. Ultimately, Pranab Mukherjee, Sonia Gandhi and Manmohan Singh found out that the US government was funding these agitations.
Did Sonia Gandhi also find out?
She found out. She is a very good finder. She charges finder's fee, by the way.
Finder's fee.
No, but
And I thought you
that
would
is
say
jokes
she's
apart.
an NGO by herself.
No. When they were in government, they found out that the US government was siding with a certain section of these agitators, which had a front of a poor church owner in that part of the town, Tamil Nadu. He was taking upon himself to not bring a Fukushima type of disaster onto the villagers of Tamil Nadu that he was shepherding. And he
I was
was
actually going
such
to
a
say at that point, finders keepers.
no, but what happened was that the Russians were trying to sell the nuclear reactors, and in this global war of trying to put a leg in some other business, what had happened was the US was trying to fund the agitators. The Indian government was siding with the company that was setting up the nuclear power plant. Ultimately, the whole agitation fizzled out because the government put it under watch. Pranab Mukherjee in his tenure put a lot of NGOs under watch. Now Narendra Modi is taking it to the next logical step, which is to organize them into whether, like for example, Ford Foundation, if it funds $100,000 grant to a particular university, whether it is an IIT or a private university or this thing, that is one aspect of it which is welcome. The other aspect of it is whether they were funding these NGOs which were tending to influence the narrative in the media, the Tista Setalwats and these other people. That is into a different category.
My problem is when NGOs like Ford Foundation, they give out money to entities. Do they actually do the due deliberation? Do they do the due diligence of who they are giving the money to?
The intelligence agencies know exactly how much money is coming in. Everything starts and ends with the money.
Absolutely.
They know, and that is the first information that any prime minister gets, is the money that is being sent either as a foreign direct investment,
as they say, follow the money trail.
or as a foreign direct intervention. Intelligence agencies know that and note it.
And they have known it. I think in UPA time they have known it. In NDA time they have known it.
The cardinal rule of any intelligence agency or something is follow the money trail, and you'll know what the problem is. But I think what Sunanda was saying was also that you say that you are doing some noble work in XYZ or something, some of these foundations, but does that also mean funding individual activists with a motivated agenda?
No, what happens is,
For example, let's just take the names here. Tista Setalwad's foundation. Tista Setalwad is somebody who's everyone knows her agenda.
What happens is some of these NGOs have become close to the GO, which is the government organization. And there's a thin line of difference between NGO and GO in the UPA administration, where they were all rehabilitated or habituated with certain government,
or members of NAC,
or they were all.
But I have to tell you something. For somebody that stands for like non-government organizations, they want government interference in everything.
Yeah.
No, there is a thin line of difference.
No, only
there.
in their own government, when the government they support is in power. Right now, they don't want governmental interference in anything. But what is an interesting thing that you brought out when Pranab Mukherjee brought out this thing and he put all these NGOs in watch? Why did we not see as much outrage as we see now?
No, because what had happened was Pranab Mukherjee put them under watch at a higher level. It was not that they were feeling the heat. Like what happened today with the cancellation of the licenses was that they were not filing annual returns.
Yes.
Pranab Mukherjee probably wanted to look at it from whether they were engaged in anti-national activities as per the recommendation of the Intelligence Bureau.
But money was not, money trail was not being watched during
it was not being watched, and he had a short tenure. He was going through the Vodafone, the retroactive taxation issues, and then promptly he was changed.
And which we have debated in the podcast on the budget, the retrospective taxation podcast 7.0. But no, coming back to what you said, the money trail probably was investigated at a higher level, that maybe where is the money coming from and who. Right now, do you think the money, they are also investigating who the local beneficiaries are individual local
No,
beneficiaries.
these are all based on the recommendation of intelligence agencies and the income tax
what I'm saying
authorities
is
and the RBI. What is happening is they had such a free run that they were not filing returns. They were probably siphoning off money to their own personal, projects. They were constructing grandiose houses. They were using all sorts of money for their own
Greenpeace
personal.
even came up and said that there was some
I think they made an
discrepancy.
error in 2008 or something.
Yes,
some
and
crores
they
of rupees. Greenpeace
And
said
usually Western agencies are very naive. Let me tell you, this is my often repeated line. They don't have money. They are borrowing from China to give to India. A. B. They basically are running out of their own.
But they know how to fill the paperwork out.
No, but
the fact that they're not doing the paperwork means that they know.
They do fill the paperwork, but they forget to sign. I'll tell you why. The US government, and again my biggest example I give often is that the UK Parliament debated where this money was going, and they were so jealous of the Mangalayan thing that they said in the Parliament that look, all the money we are giving to exert influence in India is going to Mars.
Moon.
And my point was, look, that was done by Pranab Mukherjee, and then he did what he had to do at that point. This has been the saga of liberalization. Money that comes in from the outside has its consequences.
No, and it's so touching that Priya Pillai went to the UK MPs, I think, to plead.
The case in any case, I think the watch is beneficial for the country at the moment. I don't think anybody should be.
No, they don't have money, Sunanda ji.
I think the debate for us is not about the watch. If they are transparent or something, they should not be afraid
nothing to worry about.
And neither is the government entailing. I don't think they are entailing on their freedom. What they are afraid of
Nor is government saying that there is anything wrong with the foreign money coming in.
What they are afraid of is, agar question पूछ लिया तो,
no, what they were
afraid of answering those questions.
Also, successive governments have been afraid, and because they felt successive governments felt that the NGOs were employment centers. If you had a person who is happy with 10,000 rupees a month and he has an idealistic frame of mind, he's working for some NGO on a specific project which cannot be taken up by the government, so be it. They let it be. Now it turns out that these people have had such a hatred for the Indian government. They go and spew out venom outside just to seek additional funding. They're
not for
But
anything.
to sum up this debate, what you call them employment centers, now they've become unemployment centers. Wherever the industries and jobs are being created, like you saw against Vedanta and Orissa, they'll go and stop, and cause more unemployment in their area. So, that I think that's our take on the NGO debate. The next part we're going to talk about what Rahul Gandhi's third, fourth,
He's also
fifth,
an NGO.
fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth कितना return हुआ, जो भी उसका return हुआ उसके बारे में, and then also talk about the incident that happened in the the tragic incident that happened in the Aam Aadmi Party rally.
Anyway, there have been some very sad incidents this week and last week, and AAP touched a new low again in a rally that they had organized. What pro-farmer rally is what I'm supposed to, what I believe, but there was nothing about farmers in that rally. Nobody knew what they were standing against and what they were standing for. But in any case, a very sad incident happened there. A gentleman who had come for the rally from Rajasthan, he was standing on a tree, and while we were watching, this happened while the cameras were rolling. This gentleman was there on the tree, and suddenly no one knows what happened, and he just hanged himself to death. Later we found out that his name was Gajendra Singh. He was from Rajasthan, and before the story, they had to give about 24 hours for the story to develop. Aam Aadmi Party had already jumped on the thing that he is a farmer who had lost his crops and who had lost his and was very depressed, and that is why he committed this act of suicide in front of the camera. They tried to milk it politically as much as they could. In 24 hours, we knew whatever I'm going to say now doesn't take away from the tragedy of the instance. Very sad. No one should lose their lives like that.
Absolutely.
But for Aam Aadmi Party to say that he was a farmer who had lost his crops and was there, committing suicide because of that, and then somehow connected to land acquisition bill, was all a fraud, because then we found out that he was neither poor nor had he lost any significant crop to the damage that had been to the rains, and he was neither depressed. He had his own business of tying safas, and he had come from Rajasthan to come around, to participate in this rally. We do not know what happened, but did he get coaxed by these people? Did something happen? But what ended up happening was Peeply Live. It was very sad story.
Peeply Live brings us to I think Ashutosh, what he started.
I know.
He started with an incredibly insensitive statement about Kejriwal ji chadke, utar denge. First of all, they started blaming the Delhi police, and then he comes out and spins this inane theory.
It was so sad. I saw it on the TV where he broke down and he was crying and whatever he was doing.
That was
and
later.
Gajendra Singh's daughter, she was standing there, and she's such a young girl, and she had so much gravitas, and she is telling him, please stay quiet.
No, but that was later. Before, he had this is the ridiculous part. 12 hours ago, you make insensitive statements after one another, and then you go on this channel and
no question they were trying to milk the thing. They were really making it a
okay,
Peeply
he may
Live.
have been crying genuinely. I'll give him that. It might be a late realization and stuff like that, but why is the need of all this drama?
It looked very shallow. It just tells you what I have often been saying, that AAP had come into this whole system to change the polity. They did change the polity, but for worse.
No, and also it was a movement that had stagnated because of the multiple issues they were facing within the party, and now looking at the I had assumed that there will be civil cases considering the ouster of Prashant and Prashant Bhushan
Which
and
might still
Yogendra Yadav.
happen.
No, but now the civil will be added to criminal. Civil criminal, and probably in the near future, I think in 1-2 years, you will see that the Aam Aadmi Party itself, once people start realizing that they are basically agitators, permanent agitators, they will not really digested. This party could stay probably split. This is just doomed. This was doomed from the beginning.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's become as Sunanda put it, Peeply Live, 24 घंटे का program हो गया. They'll try left, right and center anything to stay relevant. But going from the ridiculous to the bizarre. But talking about bizarre, so Rahul Gandhi was in news today or this week actually, and I think he spoke from everything from, I guess, net neutrality to land acquisition bill.
He came back from, I keep wanting to say exile, not exile, but he came back from vacation, and he's now all Indira Gandhi 2.0. Is all for,
Rajiv Gandhi 3.0. It's more...
who was Rajiv Gandhi 2.0?
Himself. Rajiv Gandhi 1.0 was a very good beginning after the first 2 years. Then from 86 the trouble started for Rajiv Gandhi, which he could not control. And after the Shah Bano fiasco, then he tried to turn right and open the gates of the Babri Masjid, and then in 91 started his
but soft
campaign.
Hindutva was also done by Indira Gandhi. She would also do that. She would also go into all this. So he has come back. Talking about socialism.
If you talk to Congresses, the prodigal son has returned.
Yeah.
But
the problem with Rahul Gandhi is the more we try to bring him to 21st century, he keeps going back.
Yeah. Uski gaadi reverse mein dod rahi hai, back to the future types. And his economic ideas, the Congress wants to position itself as a left of center party. पर भाई वो कहाँ है उसको खुद ही पता नहीं है.
No, the left.
What does he stand for?
No, he looks to probably do the left of center.
Remember,
with
before the elections, when he gave that speech at FICCI.
Beehive.
No. The speech that he gave at FICCI, which was considered pro-industry and all that, he was talking about.
He said India is a beehive.
And then he brought this person. He said, "Imagine you are China and we are doing this with China and that." And then everybody thought that he was pro-industry. Now he's gone back on that with he's one confused man.
Although looking at the way in the near future, if BJP and Narendra Modi take all of the right and center right space, there is only very few, probably 1 or 2 percentage gap between Rahul Gandhi and others who could manage to take that center to center left space, which is
So basically it is going to be between Rahul Gandhi and Sitaram Yechuri. The space that will be left by BJP will be occupied by two
Have
poles.
you just
Yechuri
elevated Sitaram Yechuri to the stature of Rahul Gandhi?
No, I
or have you lowered him down to the...
No, I have elevated Rahul Gandhi to the stature of Sitaram Yechuri.
No.
I hold both of them in disdain. So...
no, you'll have to give, if this is a kind of a renewed or rejuvenated Rahul Gandhi's role or avatar, or he has realized whatever he wants to realize, you have to understand that this family has had this multifaceted personalities embedded in them from the beginning. I'm looking
personalities.
Pramod,
multifaceted.
I disagree with that
no,
on
not-
one thing. January 2013, when I don't remember, he was made the vice president of Congress. I don't know, and he said, "Bhai,
In Jaipur.
in Jaipur, that convention, कि भाई 9 cylinder तो चाहिए." Something about the cylinder. I mean, and this was his coming of age. मतलब just imagine a leader of a political party. उसका the biggest speech he gives is, "हाँ 3 cylinder बढ़ा दो subsidy में."
I don't know, and people were crying. People were actually, there were journalists
No,
who were
what-
crying after
what-
that.
what-
मतलब out of
What-
tears of happiness or
Tears of joy that finally he has come of age.
But you will see him, whether it is ridiculous or whether it comes from a nuanced study, he will bring out these perspectives which are, like I keep saying, that are always offered when you see rapid development and you still have people who are not able to reach to that development. It is not a 1 or 2 years process where Modi can transform India next
No,
immediately.
that is not going to happen.
So whoever is the disaffected, there will be a fulcrum around.
And I remember you've often said that, you know, in next decade we'll probably see a very polarized polity in
absolutely.
India. We will see complete right and complete
Complete right and
left.
complete left. Well, because we are probably headed for the first right-wing kind of movement in India,
Yeah.
from center of right to right. We hope at least.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, you know, I don't buy this that Rahul Gandhi has it in him to be a leader. Okay, he may. Okay, chalo, let me take your point. No, let me
only
take,
time
no, one
Rahul
second,
Gandhi will
Sunanda.
succeed is if BJP lets him succeed.
No, it's not about that. Let me take your point at face value. See, he just doesn't want to lead from the front.
No, he is now, right now.
Kahan?
No, I'm seeing
Arey
that.
yaar.
I'll tell you that they are facing the biggest crisis of their existence,
Huh.
and they are coming out swinging at anything that is offered to them, whether it is the land acquisition bill or, for that matter, in the near future, what might happen is that all the political parties that are threatened with the growth of the BJP, no matter whether they are aligned with the Congress or not, might, as a sympathy or as probably a kind of a weak fulcrum, might look to come around Rahul Gandhi as an opposition leader. I don't give him a chance in 2019. I don't know about 2024, but you have to understand that this is the Rahul Gandhi that you'll keep on seeing repeatedly, with him making interventions
And
no matter what.
Yeah, no. One
He-
thing
he-
I always find interesting is that despite 44 seats, despite Rahul Gandhi, despite everything, there is no murmur of dissent in Congress, and that I find phenomenal. Considering Congress has always split.
But I think it's a simmering pot, Sunanda. I think it is bound to happen. Here's where I disagree with Pramod. Maybe Rahul Gandhi will be making interventions or something, but it is not.
But where is the dissent in Congress? Why are
Where is
people?
the Congress? 44 seats में कहाँ से dissent करेंगे ये लोग? The dissent will not happen till, see, Congress is not a force in the Bihar elections.
No, but people who have
listen,
lost,
what I'm
people
saying
who have
is,
lost think that they lost because of Gandhi family.
because, and they will. So when their states go to poll, you will see this happening. Right now in Bihar, watch what happens. Let's see what happens in Assam.
Bihar, yeah.
No, let's see what happens in Assam. Tarun Gogoi faces a resurgent BJP, which is likely to form the government in Assam. Let's see how much he back. I know Gaurav Gogoi is one of his chosen 4, and Rahul Gandhi, with all his way to, he wants to change the Congress. He is still seated around 4 dynasts.
Yeah.
No, dynasty is again a big
No, it's not about
misnomer.
no.
because,
But Pramod, it's not about dynasty in just the Gandhi family. They have created dynasties everywhere. Congress party has become like a dynasty, pyramid of dynasties. You have the Chavan in Maharashtra,
All the
Scindias
little
in Madhya
dynasties
Pradesh.
have flourished under their benign.
No one is denying that if a politician's son wants to be an MP or a chief minister, they shouldn't be allowed. No, they should be. If they are meritorious, they should be. But इसमें तो ऐसा है कि first you are a son, only then you'll get a ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is what we disagree. And so I guess we're going to end this podcast on an interesting agree to disagree, or broadly agree but disagree on a couple of points. That Pramod thinks that maybe Rahul Gandhi will make these interventions in the parliament, and to which I agree that he may be doing it, but I don't think he will be the fulcrum around which Congress will evolve. Again, from
my point is, unless we see dissent in Congress, unless we see rebellion in Congress, there is no hope for Congress. That is my hope. That is my point.
And that's what I'm saying.
Under Rahul Gandhi, who is an object of ridicule, and no amount of press and good press can help him anymore, because he has already past that line of ridicule. And I've always said this, politicians should aspire to be hated or loved. They should never want to be ridiculed. If you ever go into that territory of ridicule, there is no hope. And he has already gone into that territory of ridicule. Anytime, even when he says good things, he will, this will happen to him. Shekhar Gupta actually said a very good line. He said, I don't remember where he said it, but he said, a lot of people think that Rahul Gandhi lost, Congress lost elections, or Rahul Gandhi lost because of that, because of Arnab Goswami's interview. But it doesn't matter. Even if he had handled Arnab Goswami's interview well, they would have still lost, because by that time he had already gone into the territory of ridicule. So that is Rahul Gandhi's problem. My thing is, unless Congress rebels, unless there is split in Congress and some other bright young people come out from somewhere, there is no hope.
In fact, to add on to what Shekhar said, I think Arnab Goswami's interview in fact reinforced the image, but it did not do anything to make it worse. There's nothing already there. So, but anyways,
no, if he turns towards soft Hindutva and plus socialism model, which probably is intentional,
because his grandmother has milked it and his father milked it.
I think that is his template moving forward. If it happens for the good of the nation, then we should welcome it.
But before we go to the closing comments, just would like to say, please like us on Facebook. Please follow us on Twitter at MYINDMAKERS. The website, and that should you can follow me on my personal account at ASK0704, Sunanda at SUNANDAVASHISHT, and Pramod at PBURAVALLI. To close up, Sunanda.
Also, there is a mind survey right now on the website, where we are exactly talking about Rahul's new turn as socialism plus soft Hindutva. Do check that out, vote, and do let us know what you think about it.
Periodically check out the mind survey. We've been doing it every week. We've been having some interesting topics. We keep the survey, open it up for
a week,
and would like to know what you think. Talk about the current issues of India, the world, and we've got some fascinating pieces. We got a piece on FTP. We have a piece coming up on the land acquisition bill and the agrarian crisis. There is a bill on piece on agriculture, and there is a piece on foreign policy as well. Two pieces on foreign policy right now. So
and our information is that Rahul Gandhi himself voted on option D, which is couldn't care
less.
That is Pramod's sources telling him that.
Pramod's sources telling him. I don't know. The same sources told about Rahul Gandhi revival or not. I don't know. But maybe I thought one of the votes was Manishankar Iyer. But regardless. But anyways, do keep listening in. We'll try to bring you new topics every week, giving you our irreverent takes on them. Do log on to www.mind.net for the latest views, blogs, podcasts. Keep in touch. We would love to hear back from you, and send us your feedback and your comments. Till then, we'll see you next week. Bye.